Hello, this is Frank Long, Editorial Director of Rehab Management. At the latest ISS show, we caught up with David Lippis and Josh Anderson of TiLite. We talked about what's at the heart of TiLite design and its approach to designing mobility devices that fit a range of users and budgets, including the company's pediatric wheelchair, designed from the ground up for young users. Here's what they had to say.
It's hard for me to believe that TiLite started 15 years ago. And we started with one focus. And the focus was to consider the interaction between the human and the machine being the wheelchair. And at that time, we developed what today we call TiFit. And what TiFit means is that we literally bend metal around the user's body to create the tightest, smallest wheelbase we possibly can, to remove any excess material that's not necessary. And we did it by introducing it on titanium frames, which are known for absorbing vibration, being very lightweight, and providing a wonderfully smooth ride. Well, as our company has grown, thanks to the people who understood what we were trying to do and have benefited from it, we introduced aluminum. And the reason we introduced it is that we recognized that there was a whole group of people who, for primarily financial reasons, were unable to get into a TiFit titanium frame. But we wanted to bring them TiFit, which we offer in the Aero Z, which is the only K5 chair that is actually a custom prosthetic-like frame. Bring them the aesthetic that we've become known for and the quality. And we did that introduction about 6 or 7 years ago. We've always wanted to do better work in the pediatric market, and we finally had the resources to do that. And that's how we've developed our current line of adult and pediatric TiLite chairs. We really use a very similar model to the model that car companies use, which is that they experiment with technology on their F1 cars, but then they trickle it down to the rest of the line, to people like you and me, who can't afford an F1 car, but we can sure afford some of the technology that was developed in them. TiLite's sales, marketing, and engineering teams are run by people who use wheelchairs. And that really defines who we are as a company. We focus primarily on chair performance, chair aesthetics, chair weight, chair durability. The bottom line is it's all about the chair. When we design new product, the second thing we think about is price. We know we need to get these chairs reimbursed, and we make sure they can be. But that analysis doesn't enter into the equation until long after we begin designing product. And we think that that is at the core of the passion that people have for TiLite.
I think that's what really makes it exciting working for TiLite, is that it's always been about the product. What's going to be better for us is going to be better for our customer. And I think that's something that every day gets us charged, it gives us energy to come up and think of these new ideas.
Our little company may not be the most profitable in this industry, but we sure have a hell of a lot of fun.
Well, this isn't actually our first pediatric product, but we've made pediatric chairs before. The Twist, however, is our first chair that we really thought about from the ground up as a pediatric product, and was designed specifically for that market.
We've spent years thinking about performance, aesthetics, and quality. And as our little company has had the resources to expand our product line to enable a wider audience of people to experience what TiLite brings to the market, we've done that. And it started with the Aero line when we introduced adult aluminum product, and as Josh points out, some pediatric product. But with the Twist, we have finally, for the first time, been able to think about the pediatric market on a blank sheet of paper and how to apply our talents to this market. And what came out of that is the Twist.